Hello, it's Julie, PT and owner of LadyVix Physical Therapy. Today we're going to be learning specifically how we're going to activate our transverse abdominis, and this video is for postpartum women, anyone who wants to try to retrain their core, and most especially if you have a diastasis recti. So all of this is going to be safe if you have a DRA. So the importance here to keep in mind is I want to give you several ways of activating your transverse abdominis, and if you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch the other video about discussing the DRA. But we're going to talk about how to activate this deep core muscle, the transverse abdominis, in several different positions. Because if you're healing from a diastasis, you've got to learn how to turn it on in every position you're going to have in your daily life. I recommend that you watch and maybe try this whole video with me. I'm going to give you a lot of different varieties of ways to turn the muscle on, to activate the muscle, to use it. And I'm going to ask that you try to do these little movements all throughout your day. So sprinkle them all throughout the day. So when you're healing from a diastasis, it's not about saying, okay, I've got 15 minutes at the end of the day that I'm going to do those exercises. That's not the way this works. It's really about sprinkling it in all day long. This is a really important muscle, and you need to remind it how to work all day long. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to spend 2 hours a day doing these exercises. It means for 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there and 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there, you're just going to squeeze little things in, maybe 4 or 5 times a day, squeeze these little things in. I really want to stress, this is not a total and complete how to get your body back after baby video. So don't think that this is everything you need, but this is a really important factor I want to cover, and I think it's a really important thing to understand, and how to understand how to activate this muscle. So here we go. So I'm actually going to start us laying on our sides. It's a really nice way to find the muscle when you're on your side. I should probably flip around, sorry. So let's go to this side. So this may be a very familiar position to you if you've been breastfeeding for a while. So on our sides, your hips are stacked, your shoulders are stacked. I want you to relax your belly and just let it fall out. So you can see my belly just kind of hanging out here. So we're going for the transverse abdominis. So this is the muscle that we're going to use to gently take this belly that's hanging out in front of you, and you're going to gently take your belly button and gently pull it in and towards your spine. So essentially you are kind of trying to draw your belly in. You should feel as you do it, especially really low between these hip bones. So inhale, relax everything. Exhale. My hand is, I should explain that my hand is pulling an imaginary string attached to my belly button and pulling it back towards my spine. So as you inhale, I want us to connect to the pelvic floor. This is such an important component. So when you inhale, I want you to relax your pelvic floor. So if you're going to pee or fart, it would just fall on out. This is okay. I want you to relax all your holes. So inhale, relax all your holes. Exhale, gently squeeze your holes. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. So we're communicating with both the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominis. Inhale, relax everything. Exhale, gentle pelvic floor contraction. And gently pulling that belly button in. So to review, if you haven't seen the Kegel video, it's a squeeze and a lift. So when I say pelvic floor contraction, I'm referring to squeeze your pelvic floor. That's don't pee in the pool, don't fart at the party. Imagine you're grabbing a marble with your vagina and you're pulling it up inside your body. But when you inhale, I want you to let the marble go and let your pelvic floor relax and lengthen. We want to work with a full range of motion here. So inhale, relax the pelvic floor and the belly. Exhale, contract the pelvic floor, pull that marble in and feel your belly pull in towards your spine. So inhale, relax. Exhale, engage. Feel this connection. Inhale, relax. Exhale, engage. And if you want to get extra fancy, try to maintain a teeny tiny gap between your waist and the floor. It's a little extra work, but it's good work, and it's still that same muscle that we're going for here. So now I'm going to ask to create a teeny tiny gap between your waistline and the floor, and we're going to inhale, relax everything. Exhale. Gently engage and pull in. Inhale, relax. Exhale. Engage and pull in. So if you're laying on your side, this is a beautiful, gentle way of waking up your pelvic floor, your transverse abdominis. These muscles work together. My hand is essentially doing what I'm asking you to do. As I'm breathing, we're letting go. As we're exhaling, we're drawing in. So this is kind of step one. Now if we're ready to make this a little more challenging, we're going to combine it with some pelvic stabilizing movements. So this is so important. So we're not just paying attention to one muscle, we're paying attention to the stability of the whole system. So now you've understood how to inhale, relax, exhale, and feel it draw in. Now we're going to time it with a little leg movement. So inhale, relax, exhale, draw it in and lift your knee just a little. Inhale, relax. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor, draw the belly in and lift your knee up just a little. So you're going to want to make sure that you've engaged the pelvic floor and draw that lower belly in just a second before you try to lift your knee. So the goal here is to keep your pelvis stable. It shouldn't be rocking all over the place. I still want a teeny tiny gap between your waistline and the floor. So let's do these together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You're going to feel that in these hips, and that's okay. So now let's explore. Let's feel your body a little bit. Because now that you felt that on one side, we're going to rotate over. We're going to do it on the other. You might notice that you're stronger on one side and weaker on the other, which is why I really like to have you just go ahead and flip over and feel the difference between your two sides, because it's just really important to know your body. So my belly's soft, everything's hanging out. I'm going to gently draw that in. You can see that belly pulling in. So now I'm going to inhale, relax. Exhale, engage both pelvic floor and lower abs, and gently pull your knee up. Inhale, relax. Exhale. Oops, I forgot to keep my own gap here in my waistline. So what would be great? I forget. Just keep working with me here. I'm focused on my breath, and you should be too. So inhale, let the pelvic floor relax. Exhale, engage, draw it in. Feel your lower belly pull in. You do a little leg lift. So it is really important that we strengthen all the muscles around the pelvis. We want to give you as much stability as possible. So I can tell you my left side is weaker than my right, and I'm really feeling this on this side. Okay, so those are two great options. So now that you've kind of found that muscle and you've found how you can gently pull it in, we're going to activate it laying on our backs. So, same thing applies. When you inhale, relax your pelvic floor. So this hand is my pelvic floor. So when I inhale, it's open. As I exhale, I'm gently drawing it in, and I'm still drawing my belly button in. So now I want you to take your hand and I want you to palpate. I want you to feel. Can you feel, as you exhale, pull your belly button in. Can you feel how much tension you have through here? If your hand sinks right down into your guts, don't be afraid. But I just want you to kind of notice. So now we're going to engage the muscles. So relax your belly muscles and just kind of palpate and feel how everything's nice and soft and squishy. And now inhale, exhale, pull that belly button and pelvic floor gently in. And now palpate. You should be able to feel tension through here that you were not feeling when you were relaxed. So good job, you're doing that right. Okay. So Next one. So now that we've kind of connected with our breath and our pelvic floor, we're going to incorporate that and this transverse abdominis into the next movement. So we're going to inhale first. Exhale, engage, and lift into a bridge. So you should feel everything really come right in. Inhale, let everything go. Exhale, engage and lift. Inhale, let everything go. So we are exhaling and engaging that pelvic floor and the transverse just microseconds before we lift and engage the glute muscles. So be really careful here. A lot of people are tempted to say, oh, squish your spine into the floor. That's not really the focus here. I want you to keep your little natural lordotic or lumbar curve here. And you should really feel, as you're exhaling, engaging, that belly button's coming in, you should feel your pelvis is nice and stable here. It doesn't want to rock all over the place. So this is a really important one to incorporate into your stability training. Now you notice I'm not doing 3 sets of 10 of anything because I'm not trying to make a video that's 45 minutes long. So we're going to move on to the next option. This is just me teaching you all these different ways of engaging the muscles so you can take it from there and build that into your day. Okay, so the next fun little challenging one is you're going to maintain your natural curve in your low back. So a little troop of ladybugs should be able to walk under your low back if they wanted to. You're going to, with your breath, you're going to relax as you exhale. Gentle pelvic floor contraction, gently pulling that belly button in. Feel that tension. And now you're going to lift the heel of your right foot gently off the ground. Leave your toes on the floor. Inhale, set it down. Exhale, lift up your other foot. Inhale, set it down. I don't want your pelvis moving. Your spine shouldn't be popping up. Everything should be really strong and stable. And you should be monitoring your belly button. If your belly button's popping up, go back to the one where you're laying on your side. So this is all about creating tension through these tissues. Allowing your breath to manage the pressure because we don't want to be bearing down. We don't want to be creating too much pressure. Now, if this is easy for you, go ahead and lift your whole foot off the floor. So now it's teeny tiny marches. 1 inch is really all you need. You don't need that much. The more you lift your foot off, the easier it gets. So you really don't need to go all the way up. So as you lift your whole foot off the floor, you're going to feel this is more challenging, and it is. I want your pelvis stable. I want your spine nice and stable. It shouldn't be arching or popping off the floor, and your belly button should not be popping up. If you can only do a few and the belly button starts popping up, then it's time to rest. As soon as that belly button pops, it's time to rest. Your body's not quite ready for maybe so many repetitions or such a difficult movement. Again, go back to just maybe lifting the heel a little bit if you're not ready to lift your whole foot. So this one you will feel, it'll get really challenging. So it's a beautiful way to get that muscle going. Again, belly button is staying in and engaged. I can feel the tension through the whole system. And my belly button's not popping, my pelvis isn't rocking. So there's a great way to do that one. You can also use a wall, which is why I'm scooted so close to the wall down here. A couch, a chair, your husband, coffee table, doesn't matter. But you can go ahead and put your feet on a wall. And so now that kind of changes the position of your spine because your pelvis kind of rotates this way. So now you will feel that your spine is all the way flat on the floor. So now I am going to go ahead and ask that you keep that spine right there, nice and stable. Inhale, relax. Exhale, gentle pelvic floor contraction. Draw that belly button in. Think of pulling these 2 hip bones closer together. And as you do, once you do that, you're going to lift your foot slightly off the wall and return. Exhale, lift. and return. Monitor that belly button. Do not let it pop up into your fingers. Exhale, lift, and return. Play around with the distance between you and the wall. Find that nice distance that works, that allows you to feel this muscle working without your belly button popping up. Usually, the closer you are to the wall, the easier this will be. Pay attention. You might notice you're really pushing hard on the wall, or when you're doing the one on the floor, you might notice you're really pressing really hard with the leg you're not using to lift. That's okay if you need that stability initially, but as you get stronger, play around with thinking of your supportive leg as being light as a feather, like you wouldn't want to crush a ladybug that's under your foot. In the beginning, you might need to use more of your resting leg to give you that stability. But as you get stronger, just kind of lighten up that foot. Okay, so those are all really lovely options. There is a slightly more challenging option. So inhale, relax. Exhale, engage. And you can kind of start playing around with this foot. You can keep that engagement, keep that little tiny arch in your lumbar spine, and you can kind of play around with tapping your foot on the floor. You can kind of lift and cross and lift and tap and lift and tap over here. There's a lot of really great options in here. You notice though, I'm monitoring my belly button. I'm making sure it's not popping up. I'm making sure my back isn't arching all over the place, but I am keeping a little tiny curve in my lumbar spine so that if little ladybugs wanted to walk by, they could. So that's a little more advanced. You might not be ready for that, but we can introduce that in future videos. So, having done all that, I want to give you some seated options for turning on these muscles as well. So, my handy dandy, not a chair, but it will work. So, I recommend you start off in a chair first because you need more stability. You can get to the point where you're on an unstable surface like a ball as you get stronger. This is going to be a challenge for me because I'm not used to doing this on a ball. So, in a chair, we're going to again use our breath. So, inhale. Relax, exhale, gently pull it in, and let's make sure you're as tall as you can be, that your posture is as good as you can be. One of the things with diastasis is if you have a poor posture, look what happens to your stomach. So if we sit up nice and tall, everything's lovely. As soon as we start slouching, my stomach pooches right out. So posture is important in healing these tissues. So you don't want to be sitting around slouching all day, and it's really hard if you're breastfeeding. But try to have good posture as much as possible. Okay, so if you're sitting, be up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, lift your leg 1 inch off the floor. Don't let your belly button pop out. Inhale, put it back. Exhale, lift your other leg. Inhale, put it back. Exhale, lift your other leg. This does not look like much, but I am not kidding. This is a challenge. So stay as tall as you can. Still working with the breath. Exhale with effort. It takes effort to lift your leg. That's when you're going to blow. Now, if you want to get all kinds of fancy, you can throw in the arms. It's a lot more work here. I really have to concentrate. Really good posture. Keep your chest up nice and tall. Beautiful. Okay, so that is a great seated option. It is super challenging. Again, if you are sitting with friends, hanging out, it's a great time to say, I'm just going to breathe and practice my little gentle transverse abdominus strengthening. Spend 2 minutes on it. Spend a minute, rest, spend another minute. So it's a great thing to sneak into your day. You're sitting there, it's safe, again, with good posture. If you feel things are pooching out, you're not quite ready for it yet. Okay, now let's give you a standing option. So, you'll notice a theme here. We're going to continue with our breath. I want you to hold on to the wall if you don't have your balance restored yet. It's always a good thing to hold on to something. If your balance is a little shaky, this is not meant to be a balance exercise, not yet. So, same thing. Inhale, feel things kind of soften. Exhale, find your posture. Think tall like a ballerina, reaching up through the top of your head. So once we have good posture, because your posture does change in pregnancy, you kind of end up here with your belly. So we do kind of want to restore posture. So you kind of want to check your pelvic alignment, make sure you're not dumping your contents out, make sure you're not tucking your tailbone under too much. Kind of find that nice middle range where things are kind of perfectly in the center. So nice and tall, inhale, exhale, pull that belly button, lift the leg a little. Inhale, exhale, pull that belly button in, lift the leg a little. So it's low here, but you're gonna feel it throughout everywhere. So that's starting. You can graduate to where you don't need to hold on to anything. You can work in a little arm action if you want. You can kind of think about sideways. Pulling that belly button in. As you get stronger and you can handle more, you can think about maybe incorporating a little tiny lunge here. So you kind of, again, think about pelvic stability. Inhale, exhale, pull that belly in as you lift. Inhale, pull that belly button in as you lift. So you can definitely graduate these movements into more and more challenging movements as you get going. Pulling in for stability. But the key is you really have to listen to your body. If things are pooching out, you're just not ready for it yet. Don't worry, you will get there. Just keep working on the ones that you can feel you can do with good technique. The minute that belly button is bulging, you've lost your technique. There was one more I was going to show you. Okay, another standing option. Again, it's all about alignment. It's all about posture. So just think, okay, tall like a ballerina. I've got my nice kind of neutral pelvis. And you can reach up with one hand, ever so slightly lean over. Pull that belly button in, don't let it pooch out. And then right here, all you have to do is bring your right arm up to your left and back. And this is it. And notice what a challenge it is in your deep lower abs to keep them pulled in. Inhale the arm down. Exhale it up. Inhale down. Exhale it up. It doesn't look like much, but it really is a challenge. And you can go to the other side, and you can do it on your knees as well. So you could be playing on the floor with your kids, having a good time, changing diapers, who doesn't love that? And just throw an arm up, slightly lean to one side. Keep that belly button pulled in, don't let it hang out. Keep it pulled in. Whoops, I'm running into the wall over here. And same thing on this side. Obviously, the further over you lean, the more difficult it is. If you're fresh postpartum, I really don't think you really need to be leaning that much. Find that place that works for you where you can keep that belly button engaged and lean over and it's still engaged. You put your arm up, it's still engaged, and you can exhale the other arm up, inhale it down, and it's still engaged. So we've done sideline, on your back, bridging, sitting and standing and kneeling options, all to engage your transverse abdominis. Again, this is all about creating tension, restoring that fascia, giving you back that integrity and that support of the front of your abdomen so that you can feel strong in there again. You noticed I did not do crunches, I did not do sit-ups. Now is not the time for those. Not to say that you won't get those back in your life a little bit down the line, but let's restore and heal what's going on first before we start doing activities that promote bulging and distension of the belly. So I hope that helps. I hope you incorporate that into your day. Sprinkle it in, a little bit here, a little bit there, a minute here, a minute there. Wake that muscle up, a minimum of 4 times a day. You gotta just wake it up, remind it what its job is. If you have pain with any of these, you need to stop. None of this should hurt. None of it should be painful. It's one thing to feel your muscles working. That's okay. It's okay if the muscles are a little bit sore the next day. That's normal. Take the day off. but you shouldn't have pain. So if you have pain, again, please go see a women's health physical therapist for a good evaluation to find out what else might be causing your pain, or go see your doctor. I hope that was helpful. If you have questions, feel free to email me, julie@ladybitspt.com. You can always visit my website, ladybitspt.com. And have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time. Take care.